Hello, I will be speaking today of making more out of our tacit knowledge. My name is Moria Levy. I manage a company named ROM Knowledgeware, which deals with knowledge management. We have something like 40 employees. And in addition, I serve as the Israeli chair of the Israeli KM Forum, as the chair of the KMGN, the KM Global Network, and the chair of the ISO 3041 committee. So let's start. We all know how tacit knowledge is important. Michael Polanyi taught it us. And he not only came up with the term of tacit knowledge, rather taught us that it is most precious for us because it is important in two dimensions, both in having more quantity. We have more tacit knowledge than anything else in our organizations, in our lives, in our society, and both because it is more quality. It has more quality because the tacit knowledge is not only more in its quantity, rather is more important to the organization, to the socialization, to the industry's performance and success. So, knowing that, it is not surprising that we all know that we can improve the business performance based on working on our tacit knowledge. So that's a good starting point. However, it can do much more. We can get much more of our tacit knowledge, and I want to explain. Because it can serve us as one of the business transformation drivers of the new industry. And what am I talking about? We all are aware of the digital transformation. And the truth is that when we say digital transformation, we mean two things in one. We mean really digital transformation. That means using innovative new technologies in innovative ways. Technologies like AI, like machine learning, like mobile. If we use them in innovative ways, that is part of the digital transformation. It depends how, of course, we do it. However, it includes also another type of transformation which people don't speak about but is embedded in the same idea. And the second one is the data transformation. When we use the IoT, the Internet of Things, or any other way, we use our data in order to leverage our organization, our businesses, our society, or any other entity. I want to claim that these are transformations that people deal with, speak about, even if they don't use the different names and call it as one. However, there are two additional drivers that are not less important. And we should be speaking about 4 transformation engines, 4 drivers that can drive the organization to new horizons. So 2 of them we already know, the digital and the data. However, the 2 additional ones are knowledge and collaboration. If we know to leverage our knowledge assets, we can take our organizations that are based on their knowledge, all of them today, to new heights. If we know to collaborate much better with other organizations and within the organization, cross departments, and if we know to collaborate, as I said, in the organization, between the organizations, and also between disciplines and between different types of organizations, we could get new abilities, new value propositions, and drive our businesses, ourselves, our industries to new places that we never dreamed above. So that is where tacit knowledge is even more critical than we have thought about it or we looked at it up till now. It's not only another way to perform a bit better. It's not doing things instead of in 2 hours in 1 hour or 1 hour and a half because I'm using something that someone else has already done. It's a way to drive our organizations to new organizations, to be part of this continual business transformation that we all have to experience in order to be relevant in the next coming years. I'll go back to it for another minute. Why can I claim such a thing? Because if knowledge and collaboration are so precious, and specifically knowledge is so important as a driver, and if I go back to Polanyi saying that the tacit knowledge is the most important knowledge among the knowledge, so of course the tacit knowledge is even much more critical than only for sharing a bit, only for reusing, also for a bit making the performance of the organization better. It is a key to a new society, to a better society, based on our tacit knowledge. And if I look at what we're doing in GOTKM, or what we are planning to do the coming year in GOTKM, we are investing mainly in two parts. A, in bringing more awareness to the tacit knowledge, and B, in providing organizations and individuals and industries and governments with knowledge regarding to how to turn this tacit knowledge to being more explicit. So I'm not saying that it is important. We are dealing and investing our time mainly in these two areas: more awareness and more knowledge. How are we doing it? Through webinars. As I heard, we planned something like 50 webinars, 15 already provided, and maybe even more until this video is presented. In a survey that is planned for 2023, in seminars that are planned for the coming year, in a magazine that should be starting to be written, in newsletters, probably something alike, very close to magazines, newsletters, depending on its frequency. So there are different ways, and most of them deal with awareness and with knowledge. The survey is a bit different because it gives us knowledge on what is the situation of the tacit knowledge, but it is important, and it for itself drives some awareness. Another thing that GOTKM is planning to do is maybe thinking about awards. I hesitated if when we speak about awards, if we change the desire, but I think that it's not really the issue, because organizations that do not deal with tacit knowledge, turning it into explicit, won't start because any award is out there to work on this topic. So again, even the award itself is probably a way of having more awareness to the issue of tacit knowledge, and not really changing any other factor, any other rule in this game. I think that we must take into consideration that our resources are limited. And because our resources are limited, we cannot put all of them only in awareness and in knowledge. I think that I would work a bit on a different equation. And I want to suggest two things. First thing is to look at this list and maybe be brave and say, not everything that we can do, let's do. In part of things, we should do less. Maybe eliminate part of this list. Maybe only do them less times in a different frequency. And we should invest our time in doing more things. So I want to explain and I want to suggest what I would do. I think that we should invest less in webinars. 50 webinars is very nice, but I think that it's a lot. And I think that it takes all our resources, or mainly all our resources. I think that we're not mature enough for speaking about awards, and that is also something that I would leave out for the coming years. And I think that a newsletter is something that we maybe can give out, say that we do not need. If we have a magazine that comes out every month or every second month or even every quarter, that could be good enough. I think that a newsletter is time consuming, and I'm not sure that we have the time. And even if we want the time, I want to suggest that we spend it, that we invest it on other things. On what? On preparing together, defining good methodologies for turning tacit knowledge into explicit knowledge, adding and writing, documenting, and even thinking about new practices, how to do it, and C, preparing tools that will ease the process of turning tacit knowledge to explicit knowledge, based, of course, on the methodologies, on the practices, on maybe some guidelines that we have or we can prepare. So that is my first suggestion, eliminating part of the things that we are planning to do and suggesting other things that we can invest our time in. However, there's an additional idea. I think that we have to do something more than that. We have to collaborate. We have to collaborate twice. First of all, globally. Today, we have a lot of materials that are English Chinese, and the portion maybe of the Chinese is heavy. I think we have to have it neat, only in one language, only in English maybe. Some countries can translate it into their language. However, we have to work together. We have to work globally. All the experts that are sitting in this conference and many others, and we have to work globally, thinking about our customers and preparing the tools, the methodologies, the guidelines, the practices, the toolboxes themselves, all in English. Maybe later on they can be translated, but for now we have to invest our time, our efforts, doing it for as many people as we can in as less resources that we can use, that we can spend, because we do not have the resources as we would like. We always are limited with our resources. And the second thing I suggest at least, is that we have to collaborate with other networks. We want to have an award in 2-3 years. Let's go to the Mike Awards and persuade them that they will add questions for tacit knowledge. Mike Award is the most innovative knowledge enterprises. Innovative knowledge enterprises. That's one example. Of course, with KMGN, with the Knowledge Management Global Network, let's collaborate. Because if I'm looking at the list of people that are to attend to this conference, part of them are active on KMGN, part of them are of course active in other places, and not everyone can invest also in GOTKM and also in KMGN and also in some other networks that they are. We have to collaborate and see how these networks do not compete, however cooperate, how they work on joint projects and prepare joint materials that everyone uses and everyone can enjoy and everyone can spread out. These are the only ways that I think that we can succeed, by doing more and less and by collaborating. I think that there's a great potential for transformation through tacit knowledge, bringing us to success that we didn't think about, not first degree, but second level, third level, meta success, meta change. And we can really help it happen. So it's our responsibility as thought leaders to do it, to lead it. And we probably cannot start with it next year, next decade. We have to start with it now. So thank you, and let us all succeed, because we have such important